Hello, HC Electrathon. This is the second video in the software development series. And this video is going to be about how to teach yourself Python. So the Electrathon app is written in Python, and obviously you're going to need to know something about Python to rewrite it or maintain it. So this is just going to be what you need to know and how to learn it. So starting off, there's four main topics. First being the basics of Python or beginner Python. This is about variables, some data types like strings, arrays, dictionaries. It's also about iteration and functions, error handling, some class basics of some object-oriented programming, and then also interacting between files because the Electrathon app, it's multiple files and they're all interacting with each other, so you need to know how to maintain that. So if there's any of these concepts that you don't understand, you can go to this video. It's in the description. This is the Learn Python for Beginners video. And you can see it's 4 hours, but don't get like shocked by that and not watch it. Definitely go to 2 times speed and also skip around. A lot of this is unnecessary. For example, the first 10 minutes are about downloading Python, and if you watch the first video, you already did that. So just the point of this, I guess the point of this video that I'm making is that see what you don't know here, go to these videos that I recommend, and just kind of pick around off of what you don't know. Watch that section, learn it, and then you're good. Definitely don't just like watch these 20-ish hours of videos just straight, even though you might know some sections and you could save yourself some time. So that's the beginner section. Going on to the intermediate section. This video is 6 hours, but there's only two sections that you need to know about, those being lambda functions and logging. So the lambda function section is somewhere around this area. Yeah, it's around 150 in the video, and logging is a little later at 220. So both of these things come up in the Electrathon app. So I just recommend going over these kind of ideas so that when you're looking at the Electrathon code, you're not confused wondering what is this lambda function or why is this logging stuff. So you can kind of just know what's going on there. And then for the graphical user interface, that's written in PyQt. So if you're in a team, you can really have only one guy know PyQt, but I think it's so important to kind of understand what it is and how it's working. So PyQt, like I said, is how the graphics are shown. It's how the kind of back-end Python stuff communicates with the screen. And so here's a tutorial, I guess it's a series of tutorials about PyQt. And this will kind of just introduce you to what it is and how to implement it specifically in Python. Or it is PyQt, so it's in Python. And also Qt Designer, which is in itself, it's a graphical interface that you use to make other GUIs. So that'll teach you about that as well. So, and then lastly, software architecture. Since this is a pretty big project, it's going to be important that it's organized and kind of cohesive. So for that, I recommend an introduction to software design with Python. It's basically object-oriented programming and kind of how to distribute stuff into different files, as well as structure stuff as objects and classes. So this is definitely important because you can know a lot about Python, but if you don't know how to read and write object-oriented programs, it might be confusing when you see the Electrathon app. So definitely either know this or watch this video and learn this. So also, those are the four main topics, but there's some other useful resources that might be interesting to you or beneficial to you. So if you know literally nothing about Python, which is okay, you can learn a lot of this stuff in a week, say, if you just spend like an hour a day maybe. So what is Python? If you can't answer that question, watch this video. This will teach you what it is, why it's used. And also, you can kind of infer from this video why we're using it in the Electrathon project. And you can also understand why you should learn it and why learning it would also help you outside of Electrathon. So the second additional video is 10 Python tips. These aren't really necessary for maintaining the Electrathon app. I just thought it was kind of interesting and you might write better code after watching this video, which is the goal. And then this third resource it's definitely more specific, but the optional arguments in Python is like one of the coolest things about it to me. And I just think watching this video will help you write better code on the Electrathon app. So I think that was pretty cool. Learn about args and keyword args. And then lastly, object-oriented programming is pretty complex. It took me a while to understand what's going on. So if you just need some extra help with that, here's another resource about object-oriented programming, and this is more about its implementation in Python. So lastly, uh, what I already said so far is kind of more about teaching yourself Python, just kind of on your own time after school, watching these videos. But I also recommend studying computer science in school if that's something you're interested in, which if you're on the software team, it likely is. So I've kind of listed some classes here that I'll talk about in high school, how you can study computer science. So Intro to Digital Tech, this is the farthest one on the list that from computer science because it's literally like what is technology. This is the one that freshmen take. So this is just introduce you to some computer science concepts, but also just the broad concepts of what are computers, what are networks. AP Computer Science Principles is kind of like the next level above Intro to Digital Tech. There's also a non-AP version, but at least in my class, the non-AP kids and the AP kids were in the same class doing the same work, but the AP kids are getting that extra grade boost and also that college credit. So definitely take the AP version. And this is more about like what are networks, what are computers, and you also make a application that you submit to the college board for your college credit at the end. So AP Computer Science A is the next level above AP Computer Science Principles. It's in Java. It's really just teaching you what's Java. It kind of goes into more algorithmic and kind of some more code. It's definitely a lot of code. It's not really about networks or computers. And it's just, this is like the coding class. So an alternative to Computer Science A is Georgia Tech's virtually dual enrolled CS 1301. This is a Python course. It's 5 units and it goes from what is a computer to what is binary search, and you learn about functions, loops, classes along the way. I recommend this class. It is an alternative to Computer Science A, meaning that they both give you the same college credit, but you can take both. I'm going to take both just because they cover such different topics since Computer Science A is in Java and CS 1301 is in Python. But I definitely recommend CS 1301 if you have interest in pursuing like a college career in computer science, because this is literally a college class in computer science. And then also, this is kind of like an alternative path within computer science. There's game design. This is a new class at our school, so I haven't taken it, and I don't really know that many people have taken it. But this is in Unity, and it teaches you how to make graphics, how to animate those graphics based on user input, and how to make that into a enjoyable game. So that's a pretty cool class, as are all of these. And I'm just doing this because one thing that our school I think our school would benefit from just kind of teaching kids the paths they can take earlier on. So, like, say you're a freshman, just kind of keep these in mind when you're building your schedule. Maybe talk to your counselor if you're interested in computer science. Bring some of these things up, and just kind of align yourself if you're interested to take some of these things because they'll definitely help you learn computer science more than kind of going around on YouTube. So that concludes this video about how to teach yourself Python. I hope this definitely helped you. This video in itself won't teach you Python, but I'm hoping that it'll kind of refer you to these other videos where you can kind of make it more efficient for you to learn Python by skipping through the sections that you don't need and kind of pinpointing on the sections that you don't know a lot about. So this is just kind of like a hand-picked selection of what you need to know for writing the Electrathon app. And also, remember that this isn't like a class. You're not getting graded upon whether you know what a lambda function is. So don't like stress over this. You can maintain the Electrathon app without knowing that much about this stuff. This is just set up for you if you're interested. You can learn Python and kind of pinpoint on what's necessary for Electrathon. And then you'll have both the ability to work on the Electrathon app and a useful skill that you can use beyond Electrathon. And you might even begin to pursue a career in software engineering. So that's that. That's all I really wanted to say. Good luck learning Python and also good luck in Electrathon, especially maintaining the Electrathon dashboard application.